All right, what's up, y'all? We are back. I'm super excited to be here to do the reading for the second half of Sagittarius season. And guess what? We're doing it a little bit differently this time. I'm super excited to kind of be coming at this with a new approach, just because I hope that it'll make the videos a little less meandering, and hopefully it can bring forward the messages a little bit more concisely for you all. But what's happened this time is that I've actually taken notes. So instead of doing the reading like right here, the entire thing, I did the reading beforehand, took some notes, kind of sat with the energies a little bit, and now I'm kind of ready to bring forward the energies that I see coming through for us for the second half of Sag season. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I guess I shouldn't belabor it too much, but now that I've done the reading already, I can kind of give you a little bit more insight on what each position stands for. And then, of course, at the end, we're going to finish off with the animal spirit like we always do. And I'll pull that right here. On live, I filmed this on live, but if you're watching on YouTube, obviously you're not watching it live. But we'll pull it here. So let's go ahead and get into this. It's been a very busy, Sag season, and kind of getting into the second half of Sagittarius season. I have been trying to find time to film this content and have just found it basically. But I did the reading a couple days ago. Today is the 4th or the 5th, I believe. But I actually pulled the cards for the reading on the 2nd. So between then and now, I've just been so busy doing things, but we're gonna get started here. The first position is the life position. This is the main energy that we're stepping into right here, right now. And it's coming through as this moon card in the reverse. And I actually like this. It feels like profound, like divine epiphanies, right? Because typically with the moon card, this is those subconscious emotional influences that are going on underneath the surface. And it's not always easy to kind of reconcile that or understand what these feelings mean. But having this in the reverse, think of it as when you're out at the nightclub having fun and then someone flips the lights on, right? Or if you're looking for something in the dark and then someone flips the lights on and then you can finally see. And I'm kind of getting that image because in addition to this moon card, we've got the Hermit in the reverse. So first and foremost, at the beginning of this second half of Sagittarius season, we're starting with a full moon in Gemini, right? So this is about information, communication. Full moons are relational, so there could be some type of interaction we're having with somebody else that opens us up to some information that we've been looking for, or some piece of knowledge or awareness that we've been kind of trying to figure out that's been coming up within us with this moon card, right? I think because we also have this world in the reverse, it's not the world, it's the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. I feel like we've kind of been feeling blocked a little bit in some type of pursuit or some type of endeavor, right? And we're gonna get into the next position here, which is why I feel like we've been blocked. Just to touch on the next position, we have the Fool card in the reverse. So there's been a new journey that has been started, but a little bit of tension or hesitancy with realizing or understanding how to just go. Obviously with the Fool card, the imagery is this person who is standing on a cliff and they can't see what's ahead of them, but they have faith that the path will unfold as they go. So when you have the Fool in the reverse, it's like you're right here, but you're not quite having faith in the path, right? There's some way or something that we want to know before we take this step that we couldn't really figure out, right? There's been some type of energetic blockage, some type of deep emotional stirring within us that has been causing this feeling of being a little bit blocked, being a little bit uncertain, not being able to move forward. But I feel like with this full moon that we're having with this, the full moon in Gemini that we've just had at the beginning of the second half of Sag season, some information has come through. Whether that is, you just figured this out within yourself, or somebody outside of you has put in some type of feedback that really just puts the emotional stirring into perspective, right? So that is the main energy that we're stepping into. Like it feels like you found what you've been looking for, right? You've been trying to figure out what's been blocking you. So because now that we've had this insight, we step into the next position, which is the healing position, with this Fool card in the reverse. So we realize that we've been feeling blocked, right? Stepping forward on this new path, on this new journey. And this is being influenced by the Nine of Swords. So typically, the Nine of Swords, it's anxiety, it's worry, it's stress. I feel like for a lot of us with the Nine of Swords here and this Fool card in the reverse, it's like we've been wanting to take a step forward on this new path, but we've been too kind of caught up in overthinking, right? It feels like almost like fear of the worst possible outcome, or like your worst nightmares coming through on this new journey. And I think obviously that is influenced by some type of past experience that has come through. You know, we have this Moon card on this first position, which will often speak to like the past fears, past traumas, or past experiences that has created some type of perspective that we view our future endeavors from, right? So because we were still kind of lost in this feeling that's coming through, or that was coming through with some type of past experience that we've had, it had kind of stopped us cold in our tracks with being able to really move forward on this new journey that we're, stepping into and moving forward with, right? When I pulled the cards about this originally, the Six of Wands also was present on the bottom of the deck. So that is kind of being a little bit sensitive to perception, right? Where the Six of Wands is kind of this moment where you're achieving something, like you're having some type of personal victory or success in some type of endeavor that you put yourself out there for. It could feel like there is a sensitivity to perception in regards to not being able to meet the responsibility or the task that you wanted to pursue in the first place, right? With this Six of Wands and the Nine of Swords energy coupled with this Fool card in the reverse, it's like fearing that even though that you put yourself out there for this new thing and it's begun for you, kind of fearing this energy of failure, right? And especially with the Six of Wands, there are eyes on you. You know what I mean? There is perception. There are people who are cheering you on and supporting you, or kind of have this expectation of success with this endeavor. And because of this Nine of Swords, I feel like we've just been in our heads about all the steps or things that we need to do, or, whatever fears that you have from some type of event or situation that happened in the past, that's been really blocking you from fully stepping into this. I just want to look at my notes really fast. What do I have? Yeah, it's like sensitive perception, invisibility, success and victory versus public failure. It's like that you want this, but there is a way that you are afraid of not meeting up to what people are expecting from the passion and desire that you put in with this endeavor, right? So moving forward from this healing position, we go into the sunlight, which is what like possible successes and achievements we can look forward to. The main energy coming through is this Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups, crying over spilled milk. This could be some type of disappointment that has come through, and you're so focused on that regret or that loss or that disappointment that you are having a hard time pivoting and finding out where you can still find like resonance or connection here. This is being influenced by the Justice card in the reverse and also the Three of Pentacles. So with the Three of Pentacles, could be very much so about like collaborations that we are a part of right now and kind of working together towards a long-term goal, and whether or not you're moving towards that efficiently or if everybody is on the same page. With the Justice card in the reverse, I would definitely like see that there is some type of imbalance that we've been feeling with, you know, these goals that we're trying to build towards, and the collaborations and the people who are supposed to be working together towards this goal. And also, like, the comparison with this Five of Cups, it feels like there is some type of disappointment within collaborations, right? So for some of us, this could be that, you know, we have lost some type of collaboration, or it could also be that, you know, the way that you've been working together with certain people has not been on the same page. Whenever I see this Justice card, I always think of like the terms and agreements, right? It's like everybody wasn't quite showing up in the way that they thought that they were supposed to, or was agreed upon. And because of that, there is some type of emotional disappointment. There is some type of emotional loss, whether, you know, you've been let go of a collaboration, or you let go of that collaboration, or just that there's been disappointment within expectations of you know, how you're supposed to be working together and what you're building towards. I think that the benefit and the positivity within this moment for us right now is that, yes, there was some disappointment, there was some loss, but there probably is likely still a way that you can work together with the people around you if you renegotiate the terms and agreement, right? If you become clear on the imbalances that are present in this working relationship. I think, you know, with this Five of Cups here, there could be a way that, let me see, how do I want to say this? There could be an emotional support that has been lost. You know, there's some kind of like difference between like emotional support and physical support, right? Kind of having people that are holding an emotional center for you, but not actually providing the physical resources, the physical support that you need to keep growing and to keep showing up for this goal that you're trying to build towards. I really think that there is a vulnerable type of connection that needs to happen here, so that we can rearrange and kind of just shift the energy in this collaboration and kind of redefine what each person is bringing in and what each person needs, honestly, to be supported in showing up for this goal. If that makes sense. What else do I see here? Yeah, it feels like there needs to be a change of approach in service of the growth and the consistency and the framework, you know, with these long-term goals that we're building towards. So yeah, there just needs to be a shift within the terms of agreement. Like I said before, there is a way that these collaborations can still work together as long as everyone is on the same page, you know? As long as everybody knows what is most important for them to put in to this goal, so that we're all being supported, not only emotionally, but physically, having the resources that we need, having the resources is a big one, but there is some type of physical support I feel like that is required here, in order to make sure everybody is working together in a simpatico way. So we're going to move forward to the grounding position. This is how we can stay grounded at this time. First and foremost, we're coming through with this Ace of Swords in the reverse. So swords, it's communication, it's information, it's perception, how you kind of create meaning out of the world. I'm really feeling like this is a message that we need to put the sword down, right? There is a certain truth or perspective that we have that, you know, isn't always helpful, especially in regards to like feeling blocked on this endeavor, right? This is being informed by the Four of Pentacles and the Emperor in the reverse. And what this is telling me is that there is some type of attachment or connection to our own like sovereignty and our own personal will that we have been unwilling to like really budge on, you know? Like there is a belief system or some type of like personal foundation that you sit upon, that you want to be able to bring forward with you and how you are engaging with this new path. But there is a way that you kind of need to lighten up on only wanting to do this your way, right? It almost feels like a my way or the highway type of energy. But with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, you have to be open to different perspective, right? You can't just cut because you feel like you're not going to be able to do things the way that you want to, or that you're going to lose your like personal sovereignty. With the Four of Pentacles here, I think there is a message coming through from Spirit that there is foundation here. Like you can sit on your foundation and sit in your space of like comfort and I guess knowing what you are dealing with, but you can't let that type of foundation block you from being open to more perspective or more ideas, right? And I really feel like with this Emperor, like since this card is so focused on being able to do things on its own terms and focused on its own personal sovereignty, that type of rigidity has been a part of this blockage in regards to how you can keep moving forward or how you can approach this path that you want to go down. But you're fearing kind of like these old situations. Maybe there's a fear that you're not going to be able to do things the way that you want to do them, or fear of failing when eyes are on you. There is safety. We have the Four of Pentacles, so there's safety here. There is foundation here that is beneficial, but you need to be able to be willing to step outside of that mental comfort zone within your perspective and what you believe. Just like the way that you hold on to your personal value system, right? I think you can approach this within your sovereignty and within, being able to do this in a way that's authentic to you and still be open to other perspective or other approaches or other like information that you wouldn't naturally think about yourself. So, I think that's important to understand and to keep yourself grounded at this time. Like maybe you have to try on a different perspective, but that doesn't say that you still can't approach this in a way that is authentic to you and that maintains your sovereignty and your sense of self. So to move forward, we go into the serenity, how you can cultivate more peace at this time. Coming through first and foremost as this Queen of Wands. So this is the energy of purely being within your element, purely being within your power, authentically, right? The Queen of Wands, she attracts because she is completely aligned with her purpose, her passion, her desire. She engages in these pursuits because she loves them, not because it is going to get her any type of attention, or any type of like validation. She receives those things, yes, because she's very skilled, very talented at what she does, but she does those things because she loves them, not because other people think that they're cool or interesting, right? So, in this position of how you can cultivate more peace, first of all, you just have to be yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you are completely a natural, and in whatever engagements or endeavors that you're moving towards, it feels like that it's connected to you. It's connected to your heart. It's connected to how you desire to use your energy and the things that you love to engage with, right? But then this is also being informed by the Hierophant and the Two of Wands. So the Hierophant is kind of like that tried and true conventional wisdoms, so social norms and conventions. And then the Two of Wands is kind of like is the grass greener type of energy, or just the energy of being able to see opportunities and possibilities ahead of you. I like that this is coming off of this position here with the Emperor in the reverse, because I feel like the Emperor and the Hierophant energies, they could collide, right? In regards to where the Hierophant's like, hey, this is the way that things go, and these are the steps that you have to do them. And the Emperor is just like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to conform to that type of approach. I feel like this Emperor, not Emperor, but the Hierophant and the Two of Wands energy is so important here because I think that there is an ability for you to seek out some type of external wisdom, seek out some type of, external knowledge or framework and how you're approaching these things. But then with the Two of Wands and the Queen of Wands, it's like you can approach this in a way that's authentic for you and kind of be able to transmute the information or the approach that is put forward by this Hierophant into something that, you know, is authentic to the way that you naturally use your energy. I think that the Hierophant could provide different frameworks, different outlines on how you can, you know, move closer towards this path that you are stepping forward with. And then with the Two of Wands, it's like, I see this as kind of having your personal wand like in your back pocket, right? The way that you know how to do things and the way that's comfortable for you to move through things, you'll always have that with you. But then with this next wand, this is kind of being curious about the different paths or different ways that you can go about this, right? Maybe it's not a way that you normally would do it, but how do you subvert that and make it your own, right? It's almost like that same but different, but like you're approaching this established path in a way that just makes sense to you. You know, you don't have to be so completely rigid into all the beliefs or all the, methods that is presented to you with this Hierophant information, but you can look at that and be like, okay, this is how it works and this is how I work. How can I marry these two things together, and just make it my own so that it still feels like me, but I'm still embracing and incorporating this information or this framework on how I can achieve success with my personal endeavors. And so I like that for how we can cultivate more peace because it feels like you can still be yourself. You know what I mean? The Queen of Wands, the Emperor card in the reverse, you can still be yourself. You still have your own like personal sovereignty and morals, but you can open up to external perception or external wisdom and take what's yours and leave the rest. Or, take it all and figure out your unique approach to all these steps. So, we're going to move to the final position, which is the message from Spirit or the best advice moving forward at this time. Coming up as this Queen of Cups, right? So this is a review of your emotional space, of your emotional truth. This is the most important information that we have at the moment while we are going down these paths where we are seeking an aligned way to approach this endeavor that we're ready to step into, I do see that we also have a Page of Pentacles and a Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Whenever I see the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, this is kind of the energy of dropping a viewpoint or dropping an opportunity. So when I'm seeing this in regards to these endeavors that we're trying to move forward with, and kind of also looking at, I guess, just the feeling that we have of being blocked and not knowing how to approach this. I think we've been juggling kind of our personal needs or our personal values and then also the values of the other or of our collaborators or of the tried and true wisdom or approach to these goals, right? We haven't been fully committed to doing it the way somebody else wants to, or fully committed to doing it the way that we want to, because almost it feels like we've been looking at it as this, we've been looking at it in a way where we're feeling like these two things can't work together, you know what I mean? there is a duality that is being held right now, especially with this full moon in Gemini. We're understanding that two things can be true, right? We can be true to ourselves and true to our energy and our natural flow, and we can incorporate a outline or framework that has been put in front of us, that has been utilized by many people that have come ahead of us, right? I think that one of the big disconnects here has been like my personal like values and what I'm trying to build versus what other people are trying to build. But I feel like there is a way that these two things can be like incorporated and blended together, and not feel like it has to be this or this. So with the Page of Pentacles, this is planting that new seed. And with the Two of Pentacles, like something has to be dropped, right? I think there is an approach that we have to like fully commit to, but with the water behind this Two of Pentacles energy, and also this Queen of Cups here, whichever approach we decide to move towards has to be in alignment with our heart space, has to be meeting our emotional needs for support and satisfaction and fulfillment. So I feel like that is the most important thing to engage with, or to embrace, or to commit to, right? But the last message that we have here, we have the Magician in the reverse. So this is being a master manifester. This is creating, the ideal experience within your 3D reality. It's the as above, so below energy. This Magician in the reverse feels like a warning in regards to this Two of Pentacles in the reverse, where no matter which direction that you are going to choose, whether you are sticking to your guns and sticking to your personal values, or allowing yourself to incorporate or move more towards somebody else's value or somebody else's meaning, you're going to manifest whatever that is. And so I feel like that's why it's so important to make sure that whatever choice that you make, it's in alignment with your personal needs. Because whichever path we go, it'll grow. There will be growth there. But it really depends on if you want that growth or not. You know what I mean? Do you want to grow on a path where you are, really focused on somebody else's intention and what somebody else wants to put together and build and move forward with? Or will you choose to invest in this path in a way that is in alignment with your needs and your personal values, and also like supports and fulfills you on an emotional level? I think that those two things can be combined, but it's really about one, being open enough to stepping outside of your own approach, right? But then realizing that, even if you decide to take this path that has been laid out ahead of you, how can you make that path your own? How can you look at these steps or information and transmute that into your own personal energy? So that's kind of like the message that I'm getting for the second half of Sagittarius season. I feel like there's been an epiphany on how you've been blocking yourself mentally, and realizing now that, it doesn't have to be this or that. It doesn't have to be completely my own, or surrendering my personal needs to somebody else. Those two things can coexist, and there is a way that you can take, somebody else's perspective or somebody else's information and transmute that into what you desire and what you need and how your energy naturally flows. So I hope that that's helpful for y'all for the second half of Sag season. Like I said, I'm going to finish off with the animal spirits, and I'll pull two because I normally pull two. Whoa. Okay, hold on. I did not finish putting my intention in before that card flew out, but I'm going to go ahead and see what animal spirit energy is relevant for us at the time of the second half of Sag season. What do we need to know? Be aware of or possibly embody with the animal spirits. Please and thank you. Okay, we got the Panther. And what else? Oh, sorry, I thought that was one card and it was like 5. So we'll pull one more. It's this one, the Shark. Cool. So we're gonna read the booklet and see what the Panther has to say and see what the Shark has to say. And we will start off with the Panther, which is a fire energy. So let's see if I can find it. All right, the Panther. So it says, annihilation of the unnecessary, purging. The Panther won't stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc with the ultimate intention of bringing us toward more fulfilling lives. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all, the dust clears, it's easy to see the Panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences and they've made us better people. Trust that the Panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. When in balance, this is brave and productive. When out of balance, it's self-destructive. To bring it to balance, get rid of the unnecessary. So, the main thing that I'm seeing with this Panther energy is kind of this energy of being self-destructive, which I think is what happens when we are so rigid and so, holding completely tight to what we believe is the best way or the right way for us to approach a situation, right? Because when we're holding on so tight, we only get this. We can only really have our foundation, and it stagnates us from being able to build more because we're thinking that if we do this any other way, that it won't work, So I feel like with that Panther message, it's like open up to what you're not used to. You know what I mean? Open up to perspective that you feel like is contradictory to your own, but at the end of the day provides an avenue to continue growing, and realize that it doesn't mean that, you have to let go of what you want completely and how you naturally move. So let's move forward to the Shark. Let's see what the Shark has to say. Sorry, I wish these were in alphabetical order. They're in order by element, but then after that, it's just like you still have to, flip through the pages to find the actual one that you want. Okay, the Shark. It says, directness, exposure, revealing true nature and desire. The Shark is only dangerous when we don't acknowledge it. This card indicates that something big needs to be exposed. It's lurking in the depths and creating tension. Shark energy takes over us when we are hesitant to be honest, to be totally ourselves, or to say what we really want. It may be tempting to continue pretending nothing is wrong, but when shark energy is at play, we feel its presence encircling us. When in balance, it's intriguing, captivating, and mysterious. When out of balance, it's sneaky and destructive. To bring into balance, honesty. Okay, so once again, that message of being destructive. I feel like the shark energy really lives or exists within this moon card, where there was some internal thing, some internal energy that's been circling us, and we haven't been acknowledging it, right? And because of that, it's been causing this big blockage that we've been so challenged to kind of figure out how to step around this, There's a level of honesty that really goes into this, which I think is coming through, especially with the energy of the full moon at the beginning of the second half of Sag season. I think there's just a profound level of clarity that comes in, most likely through, engagements that we have with other people. Because like I said, like full moons, they're oppositional and they're relational. So information can be coming, like feedback can be coming from someone outside of you or something outside of you that just finally snaps you open and makes you understand exactly, what you have not been acknowledging, what you have not been looking at and being honest with yourself about. So if you can, open up to those things and to like kind of accept them as they are and not try to put them in like two separate places, then they can be incorporated or they can both exist and not be fighting each other. You know what I mean? So those are the messages that we were getting from the animal spirit. It's really about opening up. About being honest. It's about not holding so tightly to our beliefs, our system, our way and approach of how we want to do something, and allowing other perspective to come in, allowing other possibilities or directions to come through and influence you, and being able to incorporate or to transmute these external pieces of wisdom with our internal truth. So that's what I'm seeing for the second half of Sag season. I hope that this was a meaningful message for y'all. Definitely like this. If you like this, drop a comment below on your experience, what you've been going through, and how you feel the energy moving through you while we're stepping into the second half of Sagittarius season. Subscribe if you want to follow along in the future for more readings. And yeah, I hope to see y'all next time. And good luck with the second half of Sag season. Bye.